So if you have a 1D string and it's all tangled up and you know that it can't be untangled in our normal world, can you use the fourth dimension to unknot it? And the answer is yes, you can always do this. But it's very hard. It is always hard to visualize things about the fourth dimension. So one of the easiest things that we can do is think about an analogy by bringing everything down a dimension. So I want you to imagine Flatland, a 2D world. Flatland is going to be represented by the surface of the table, okay? You cannot come up or down. And if we have Flatlanders, they live inside the surface of the table, and they can move up or down or left or right, and they can rotate around, but they cannot come up out of the table. That would be leaving their world. Now, I want you to imagine that there is a string or a knot around one of the Flatlanders. So he is trapped inside of this knot. And again, this red string is going to be inside the surface of the table. It's inside Flatland. So can this Flatlander see his buddy anymore? No, he can't. No matter where he rotates, all he can see is this red wall in front of him. Now I, a 3D god, will reach down with my fingers and I will pick up part of this red string into the 3D world. So I'm picking it straight up. Latitude and longitude are the same, but the altitude is going to be different. Can he see me do that? He actually can't. He cannot look up or down. He can only see inside of his own world. He only has 2D eyeballs. From his perspective, the knot, part of this red wall, has literally disappeared. It has teleported out of his world. And his little mind is blown. But what can he do? Now there's a hole in the wall, and he can scoot out and see his friend, and I can lower the red string back into Flatland, which to him means the string just reappears. And so within Flatland, if we're following all the rules, these two guys can't ever see each other. But by magically using the third dimension, you can teleport the red string out of the world and the two friends can see each other. How does this apply to this math problem? If I have a mathematical knot, this 1D tangled rope, it might look something like this. This is one of the pictures in the exercise. I want you to imagine this lying on the table. Now, instead of Flatland, I want you to imagine this as it literally appears. We are in 3D world. This is a 1D object that is just resting on top of the table so that we can look down on it. You can see the crossings. Some of the strings go over the other ones. Can we untangle this? As is, no, we can't. But wouldn't it be cool if this crossing were switched? If this crossing were switched, if the string here went under instead of over, then this is what we would have. And I hope you can see that I could pick this up, flop it over, and untangle it, and the whole thing would come undone. But I cannot do that in 3D world without getting out some scissors and glue. So what can we do? Remember the Flatlanders. A magical 3D god came along, lifted the object out of their world, and all of a sudden things that couldn't happen before can happen now. That's what's going to happen right now. I'm going to take part of this string, and a magical 4D god is going to come along and lift it out of my world. What do I see? I see nothing. As far as I'm concerned, part of this red object will teleport out of my world, become completely invisible to me. And then the 4D god can just kind of like switch, can move one on top of the other, and lower it back down into my world. The entire knot reappears, looking different than it did before. So that's how you can switch the crossings without using scissors and glue. If you have a fourth dimension, you can do it.